What's good, everyone? It's your boy, the nigga, Harry. And today, I want to give you guys a video talking about a certain character in the community that's tending to be a bit controversial here. Some people overhype him, some people say he's trash, and that character is Tobirama. And again, as I said before, a lot of people believe he's a god tier character in terms of power, or maybe this really weakling who gets beat up by Sani. Today, I want to give you my thoughts on his actual scaling here and show you where I believe he truly goes. That makes sense not only to his character but to the story. If you guys like this video, then feel free to like and subscribe. Anyway, let's get right into the video. So to start off, let's start off with the AP scaling here. So with the AP scaling, the main thing to talk about, I guess I'll say, is the 10 paper bombs. Now this probably definitely is his more powerful ability in his arsenal, as not only was able to destroy a Data Gate, which was able to withstand an attack from the 10 tails, but it also made an unstable Jiuito actually block it. This is pretty important because at this point in the story, unstable Jiuito is kind of, as I say, unstable, very mindless, not thinking fully to what I should be as Obito should normally think. Because of that, you can see when he's like charging through Hashirama and Tobirama, he kind of just stands there and kind of lets the explosions go off, lets him get trapped by the wood style and all that stuff. But despite all that, despite just letting himself be attacked by those, he's still acknowledged the idea to even guard against the 10 paper bombs ability. Now, I'm not trying to make the claim and say that the 10 paper bombs is like this 6-pass level attack or anything like that. I won't go as far as to say that. But one thing is for sure, outside of like the 6-pass level of attacks, it definitely has to be one of the strongest we've seen at this point in the series. Now, of course, with this ability itself, depending on which one we're talking about, it depends on how it can really be used. We know in terms of his alive self, he uses it with the Edo Tensei, and then with his Edo self, he just uses it on himself. As soon as he has to regenerate, he could probably do this multiple times as long as he has the attacks on standby for him to summon in or something like that. I don't know how he would actually do it. But I mean, he'd probably be able to do it. I don't know. I mean, he's able to cleanse his body somehow. But besides that, the 10 paper bombs, there's just other stuff as well. Another ability I want to talk about is also I believe it's called like the hard whirlpool or something like that. Water lance, something like that. Either way, it's like this lance-like ability that he has that is said in the data books that it's nothing that it can't be cut. This is pretty impressive, as there's two ways you can look at this. The lower end of looking at it could be during his time as Hokage, he's able to cut through anything with this attack, which will actually go as far as to the third Raikage, who's able to withstand attacks from the 8 tails, and should use that cloak to pretty much fight it over and over again. And as an Edo is able to withstand attacks from Acacia and Naruto's Rasen Shuriken. Another way of looking at the ability, though, a higher end, is that it's not just during his time, but also could be during the time of Hashirama Madara. Now, I'm going to admit right now, that's absolutely a big reach. And I'll admit that right now, not trying to say that's actually confirmed or not. As again, the statement itself is kind of vague in what it will actually mean here. But if we go look at this end, it's possible that reaching can go here. It could be more to maybe the Madara's rib cage, or even go as far as maybe like the Madara Susanoo, including Hashirama's, his golden golem. If you really want to push it, the Buddha statue. I'll say look at this interpretation. The Buddha statue is definitely the biggest reach out here. As we do know, Tobirama is definitely aware of the capabilities of the Perfect Susanoo and the Wood Golem. So if you do want to believe in this interpretation, that's probably where it can maybe go. But again, even then, that's still a reach. Even look at the lower end of it, it still shows the ability itself is very powerful in its own right. Besides, he has other abilities as well. Some of these being the Severing Wave, that was able to cut down some of the branches or roots from the God Tree, which is indeed impressive on its own anyway, as not many people were able to cut the roots of the God Tree down. And I'm sure Hiruzen was able to do it, but Monkey King Emma, who is the staff, is honestly pretty strong, as he was able to push out the 9 tails. So it's not necessarily too bad. It also has like those little water bullet abilities. I forgot the name of them, but it did make Madara actually block it. You see Madara, who's letting himself be hit around by the tail beast, actually just to block it. So yeah, so in terms of AP is very strong, and it also makes sense too, as we look at the fact that when they first get summoned into the War Arc, when he powers up, the scene itself makes it very clear how Taka, including Sasuke, get nourished just from his powering up. Here's Minato gets startled by it, and Hashirama has to power up himself to calm down Tobirama. Now, of course, some people tend to argue. The reason to argue against it is that it's not necessarily Sasuke is scared of Tobirama, it's the idea of finding all the Hokage there. And I'll admit, it's a fair interpretation with it. The problem I have with it, however, is that in that specific moment, the main focus is on Tobirama there, as it's showing him in the main focus. So because of that, it would have to mean that it's mainly talking about Tobirama there, and that's where Sasuke's reaction is mainly coming from. It'd be different if it was along with Tobirama showing the other Hokages getting serious, maybe. Like for example, let's just say here's in Minato getting serious with Tobirama. Then so Sasuke getting scared. At that point, then that kind of makes sense. Then you had Hashirama calming down all three of them. But again, it's only Tobirama who got powered up, and everyone focusing on him. So I do feel like that's more the main focus there that I was trying to convey in the story, show with his power. Now besides that, I'm going to skip over durability, as to be very honest here. There's nothing too special with the durability. I'll probably give him this as a shinobi. Sure, he takes some attacks here and there, but that's kind of about it. And there's nothing really too bad about that, as many characters in Naruto anyway don't really have crazy durability, except for like an accepted few. But again, I'll probably give that he probably takes some attacks here and there, but besides that, that's mostly it. Besides even then, he's more known for his attacks and mainly the speed. Speaking of speed, that's what the next part we're going to go into. And that's also, in my opinion, probably the more controversial one, as many people believe that his speed scaling is either going to be for him being not even KCM with Flying Raijin, or being faster than Jibito with just pure combat speed. As far as I see it, I think there's a very clear spot you can put Tobirama here in terms of speed. That being near Hashirama. You see, during the fight against Hiruzen, both Tobirama and Hashirama were able to fight off against him and move around similar speed, both shown in anime and the manga. Hashirama himself is known to be a rival to Madara and being something stronger than him, though depending on how you want to look at it. Either way, it's very clear that both are relative, and Madara is able to react to KCM2 Naruto. Now, you don't believe that Madara or Hashirama are near KCM2 Naruto's speed, that is fine, but it does show at the very least that they have to be at least near that speed themselves. So with Tobirama being even relative to Hashirama, that means also relative to Madara's speed, and therefore further shows that Tobirama has to be at least somewhat near this KCM2 range of speed. You can maybe say he's more 1.5 or the master KCM speed, but he definitely has to be around that range, and can't be at least, and definitely not near that just normal KCM speed. As again, kind of showing with Madara and Hashirama, they're more around that range anyway themselves. And further help prove this actually, is that also with Madara's statement saying how Tobirama had both the fastest speed. Many people tend to argue against this, saying how just because you're bragging about something doesn't mean you actually are, or you actually have that. The problem I have with this is now the argument itself is fine. It's all except for one thing. When they just say he's boasting about. You see a lot of people tend to argue against it. They say, well, you're bragging about something doesn't mean you have it. However, the problem with that, in the sentence, it says he boasts the fastest speed. Not that he's boasting about having it. The word about is not in there whatsoever. It's just that he boasts the fastest speed. Meaning that it can't be the term bragging, it has to be possessing, as the word possess is the part of the second definition for the word boast. So therefore, because of that, and again just looking at the very sentence itself, it can't be bragging, as if it was bragging, the word about had to be in there in the sentence. But instead, it's just again possess. And other people tend to like retranslate it again and get the word hailed in there. And even then, you want to say it's just that interpretation that he is hailed as the fastest shinobi, that still works as well. To be honest here, again with the context of the character, as well as the game we already showed already with the speed, this is still pretty much fine. And depending on look at it, far as there, you could say maybe his base speed is still slightly above, which is slightly fine as well, as he did get there to the battlefield before Tobirama did, or you could say he's just a flying Raijin. Both don't really matter too much in my personal opinion, as again it still shows overall he should still be a generally fast character in the story. Along with his AP, he's still very slightly dangerous. That's basically what I want to see with Tobirama scaling there. In terms of the other Akage, he's definitely above people like Danzo, Tsunade, and depending on look at Shikamaru scaling, he could be above him too. And I think the best part is kind of creating more to people like Hiruzen and Minato. Personally, I still have him above Hiruzen, but I do know people tend to scale Hiruzen a little bit differently, as I've read from him recently, which I'll talk about later on in the video. But I do see out of all the Okage, Minato is definitely the best one to compare him to, as besides the Flying Raijin, which is another thing Tobirama does have in his arsenal, by the way. But I'll say right now, where I didn't bring too much about it, is that, well, I mean, he barely kind of uses it, besides the Warp. Even then, it's very basic, and Minato has a better one anyway. And plus, everyone talks about the Fire Raijin, so it's just like, there's no point. Either way, that's kind of what we have right there. Hope you guys kind of at least understand my point of view with Tobirama here. And at least kind of see where, at least how I see it, the best way to scale Tobirama. Not just in terms of scaling, but just in general what exists in the story here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, as this is my first video, and hopefully not the last one, as I'll make more and more as time goes on, if I have time to with school and everything else. If you guys enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, let me know your guys' thoughts on the scaling here. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. It's your nigga Harry, signing out.